I 26F just found out my partner 24F is stealing from stores. How should I confront her? Disclaimer: no, I haven't sat her down and talked about it yet. This just happened last night, so I'm still kinda processing that it actually happened. So I have been dating my girlfriend for about 3 years now. We're going pretty well, been pretty stable. She compliments my meek nature with her happy-go-lucky behavior. She's tons of fun and she's been my rock for years. Currently she's in college and I'm working and doing college at the same time. We are about an hour to an hour and a half away from her. Since I'm closer to her parents, she usually comes down to visit me. This also works out cause I'm an introvert, but I will go out for her sake because it does make her happy. Now on to the events of this story. So a couple days ago she got out of college on spring break and she came down to visit me. It had been a couple of months as college was busy and work got pretty hectic, so neither of us couldn't really go to see the other. As celebration of finally being back together in person, we decided to go ahead and go out to IH Original Poster. It was close by and we were both in the mood for some breakfast for dinner and have a little date, catch up and just enjoy each other's company. Our food came out relatively fast, so we weren't there long. In turn, that meant the night was still a little too young for our liking, so we decided to kill some time and go out to window shop at an arts and crafts store that was a bit of a drive away, and hey, who doesn't enjoy looking at cute arts and crafts while walking those added pounds off? Regardless of the distance, it was worth the drive as the place usually had some pretty good things to pick up, plus it gave us time to continue catching up. Now I want to add here that we drove for a bit and on the way we were listening to music, talking and joking around. My humor is pretty dry, but she has amazing humor that'll leave your stomach sore. We were silent for a bit, so naturally as I do, I began to look around the car, see what new things and accessories she put inside. While I didn't see much of anything noteworthy, I did notice these zippers. They were pretty out of place and still had the tag on them, so I asked her where she got them. She said that her and some friends had stolen them one day when in a different arts and crafts store. I laughed nervously, truly believing that was a horribly executed joke, and asked, as I feel many would ask after hearing something so sudden and jaw-dropping, "Are you serious?" She looked at me proudly and simply said, "Yep, we stole about $10 worth of things." Of course she goes on about this for a moment, recapping the amazing escapade her and her friends had, and thanks to this the evil big corporation would suffer something. Told me they wouldn't miss $10 and how they saved some money. My dumb self still thought there was a punchline, so I just stated, "That's pretty funny, but seriously, don't do that, you could have gotten caught and/or arrested." While $10 isn't much, it's still an arrestable offense, and depending on the person that you steal from, you could get a slap on the wrist or shiny bracelets slapped on your wrist before a trip to the local jail. I care for her, of course. I wouldn't want her to get in trouble even if it was 1 cent worth of stolen goods. Of course, as I'm explaining this, she's amused and rolling her eyes, stating that it was fine, they wouldn't have gotten caught, blah blah blah. I decided to bury the topic completely. While I'll never condone stealing, I do understand that she probably wanted to do something crazy and knew her family was pretty conservative, so she didn't get to experience many of the fun things she does today. No, I don't mean the stealing, still I was so uneasy about that. Fast forward to the store. We're there, we're walking, it's 30 minutes from closing, perfect, we get some time to kill off at least a few calories. I don't find anything I find appealing, and neither does she. She did find some markers, but they didn't really appeal to them. We did head down an island and we saw these coin collecting cases, and she talked about how her and her grandpa had collected a bunch of coins. While I was listening, I saw that this Gundam set was on sale. I'm a sucker for the Gundam series and a pretty big otaku anyway, so it being on sale tempted me, but alas I ended up not buying it. I already had another set around. Now for those that guess that she stole something around this time, perfect, you're on the money. I still feel like an idiot for not having turned around. If I would have looked at that moment I could have stopped her. Regardless, we leave the store. Neither of us didn't really find anything worth buying, so while we're leaving I joke with her about her having pocketed something and using that 100% off coupon. She looked at me confused and finally understood, simply rolling her eyes and walking back to the car. We did take a detour to say hi to 2 beautiful doggos. When we get to the car she tosses something onto my lap that she pulled out of her bag. I scrunched my face up in confusion and looked down. That's when my heart sank. Right in front of me were those markers she had not taken too much interest in. I was completely shocked. I just looked at her, staring in disbelief as she just asked me what? I didn't want to pay for them, plus it's just $7. What ensued afterwards wasn't an intense argument, but a mixture of me trying to get her to see the error of her ways and absolute shock. The whole time she saw nothing wrong with this, acting completely normal, explaining to me about blind spots and the ins and outs of how to steal. But I think my heart shattered a bit when she stated her next sentence. "I'm surprised you didn't see me, I put it in my bag right in front of you. I guess you were turned around and thankfully you were positioned perfectly so I could hide behind you and camera wouldn't pick me up. I was shocked. Did this make me an accomplice? If we got caught I could be guilty by association if the way it looked on the cameras made it seem like I was helping her. Was this even happening? I mean surely the woman I've been dating for 3 years wouldn't just steal, that's insane. I just sat in silence, putting on a smile when I needed to keep up appearances, but when we got home I hid in my room, stating I had schoolwork to finish and that I would come in to cuddle her later if she went to bed in the guest room. She luckily took the guest room without problems and I went in the whole situation through. I'm still processing last night's events. I mean this isn't the woman I fell for, not even in the slightest. I don't even know how to go about speaking to her. Has she done this more than she had told me? Is this going to continue? There are many questions I have been thinking about. I don't know where to start. I need help figuring this one out. Reddit. How should I go about sitting her down and talking about this?